Justin Bieber just did something at Coachella that has literally never happened in music history, and the entire internet is still trying to process what the hell they just watched. Bro walked on that stage, opened a MacBook, typed into YouTube like your uncle at a wedding, and walked off with the biggest paycheck any headliner has ever pulled from that festival. No dancers, no pyro, no set list. Just one laptop, one man, and a generation of nostalgia weaponized into a nuclear marketing moment. And the critics calling this lazy? You really thought this was a good idea to drag? Bro, he just cashed out harder than every one of your faves combined. Before we get into it, subscribe, don't miss it. Nah, Justin Drew Bieber. Yeah, that Biebs, the kid we grew up with, officially made his Coachella headlining debut on April 11th, 2026, at the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival in Indio, California, performing a 30-song catalog run that stretched from Baby all the way to tracks off his 2025 album Swag. The twist? Mid-set, he literally sat down behind a laptop, pulled up YouTube, and started reacting to his own old music videos in front of 100,000 people. The critics calling this lazy clearly didn't think this through, cause the numbers tell a whole different story. Now let's look at the receipts that show why this lazy set actually broke the internet. Look, I had to pull up every major receipt on this one because the story is wild. Let's go through it piece by piece. Receipt number 1. The payday drop. On April 14, 2026, Rolling Stone's Insider Report went live, and they quoted a source saying Bieber's fee was north of $10 million for the 2 weekends, $5 million per weekend, a figure that's in line with previous headliners. When I read that, I had to do a double take. Billboard Canada went even further, confirming Bieber reportedly surpasses Beyoncé's $8 million paycheck in 2018, officially making him the highest-paid Coachella act in history. $10 million to sit behind a MacBook. That's the dumbest flex a critics could try. And it worked. Receipt number 2, the Katy Perry reaction. Billboard dropped a piece titled Katy Perry and Zara Larsson react to Justin Bieber's YouTube-fueled Coachella set. Thank God he is premium. Yes, Katy Perry, a pop legend, was geeking out in real time. Zara Larsson's exact reaction, as reported by Entertainment Weekly, was literally, "What the F?" When I saw Katy duetting along and looking genuinely floored. That's when I said, nah, this hits different. The industry's own A-list was an AWE. Receipt number 3, the actual performance. According to Entertainment Weekly's review on April 12, 2026, Bieber delivered a sleepy Coachella performance, doom-scrolling and watching YouTube videos mid-show. But then GQ dropped their take and called it thrilling and cathartic. Hold up. Same performance, 2 completely opposite reviews? That's how you know this wasn't normal. Mashable Flatout said the set was deeply online in the best way. Receipt number 4, the shout-out to Hailey. Yahoo Entertainment confirmed Justin gave a sweet on-stage nod to wife Hailey Bieber and son Jack during his set. And the son caught Hailey in the crowd singing along to That Should Be Me, one of his early heartbreak tracks. Man, there's something about that image. Wife singing the song she inspired, husband performing them after surviving hell, that nobody wants to talk about. Receipt number 5, the critics. Page 6 ran the headline. Justin Bieber slammed for a lazy Coachella 2026 performance amid rumored $10 million payday. Tribune reported critics called the set messy, underwhelming, and lazy. Bro said what? You're calling the highest paid Coachella set in history lazy? The audacity. That line right there, that's where the haters lost a plot, because the numbers don't care about your opinion. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Okay, y'all, this is where it gets real. Because what everyone's missing is the timing of this entire comeback. Let me walk you through what nobody's piecing together. That album Swag dropped July 11th, 2025, through Def Jam and ILH Productions. That Coachella booking announcement came a few months later. That's not a coincidence, brew. That's a campaign. Rolling Stone even called it the weirdest comeback of 2025, pointing out Swag debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, his first album in 4 years to chart. Remember that $200 million catalog sale? It closed back in January 2023 with Hypnosis Songs Capital. Now People magazine dropped a bombshell recently claiming Bieber unloaded his nearly 300-song collection because he was on the verge of losing his fortune. So let me paint a picture for y'all. 2022, he catches Ramsay Hunt syndrome. 2023, he sells a catalog reportedly because he was financially cooked. 2025, he drops swag. 2026, he headlined Coachella for $10 million. That's not luck. That's a 5U chess move. Now peep this industry detail nobody's talking about. Billboard confirmed Swag charted 16 songs on the Hot 100 simultaneously. NPR reported the deluxe edition pushed Swag back into the top 10 in September 2025. 16 songs at once. And then Coachella locks him in as headliner. Any smart critic would have waited to see what he was building. But the haters? They just reacted. And here's the piece that broke my brain. His wife. According to an Us Weekly insider quoted by Yahoo, Hailey was a big influence on Justin's decision to headline Coachella. Facebook 49 reported that Hailey is a quiet force behind his biggest comeback yet and walked him through his worst mental health struggles. So that shout-out on stage? Not random. That was him publicly crediting the person who rebuilt him while the internet was writing his obituary. The critics mocking this set don't realize they're mocking a literal trauma survivor's victory lap. That's embarrassing. Brew. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Now check this out. Nobody's zooming in on the actual mechanics of what Bieber did, and its genius-level psychological warfare. Let me break down the hidden layers. Hidden layer number 1. The MacBook itself. Zoom in on that one prop. Just a laptop. No DJ deck. No MPC. No producer setup. Why a MacBook? Because that's what every Gen Z kid on their bedroom floor uses to watch his old videos on YouTube. He wasn't performing AT the audience. He became the audience with them. That one prop collapsed the wall between superstar and fan. And the critics calling it lazy really didn't catch that? Embarrassing. Hidden layer number 2. The YouTube choice. Why specifically YouTube? Not Spotify. Not Apple Music. YouTube. Because YouTube is where Baby has 3+ billion views. The song the internet bullied him over for a decade. Dude went back to the scene of the crime and performed with his 16-year-old self like a therapy session. Mashable called it deeply online in the best way for a reason. That's not lazy, that's poetry. If the critics had half a brain, they would have noticed this before typing their think pieces. Hidden layer number 3. The sleepy energy decoded. Remember that Entertainment Weekly review calling it sleepy? Here's what they missed. That low energy, seated, laptop scrolling vibe wasn't exhaustion. It was a calculated middle finger to the dance monkey dance expectation the industry put on him since age 13. The same industry that Lad Bible says Katy Perry joke needed YouTube Premium to watch without ads. Brew performed at his own pace for the first time ever. That sleepy posture was the most rebellious thing a former child star could possibly do. Hidden layer number 4. The song selection pattern. He didn't open with Baby. He opened with 2025 track All I Can Take, then Speed Demon, then First Place, New Era First. Then he went into the YouTube segment and pulled up the OLD stuff. You see the move? He forced critics to acknowledge 2026 Bieber before giving them the nostalgia drug. That's not a set list, that's a whole psychological operation. And the haters walked right into it. Now let's see how the media covered this. The media absolutely could not decide how to frame this thing, and that division itself tells you everything. GQ framed it as art. Their headline literally called it thrilling and cathartic, a vulnerable watershed moment. GQ Entertainment Weekly framed it as a failure, sleepy, doom-scrolling, underwhelming. Same set. 2 universes. Rolling Stone went a third direction entirely, framing it as a celebrity spectacle. Their coverage focused on who reacted, Lizzo and Katy included. Page 6 took the cash grab angle, pushing the lazy $10 million payday narrative hard. Tribune split the baby and reported it as both messy and healing, depending on the audience. Tribune AOL even published a piece titled Lazy or Great Storytelling. Justin Bieber fans are divided. Now some of the critic supporters are saying Bieber disrespected Coachella by not bringing a real production. Those are the same people who probably thought Kanye's Donda listening events were lazy too, until history said otherwise. If you still think this was a cash grab after seeing that $10 million was just a deposit on what Swag is earning him in streams, you're just biased. Remember the laptop prop we talked about? Media framed it as technical minimalism. Nah, that was surgical intent. The media trying to spin this for the haters, but the receipts don't lie. But here's what nobody is saying. The mainstream narrative right now is split between lazy cash grab and emotional comeback. Both camps are missing the real story. Here's what they won't tell you. Justin Bieber just invented a brand new template for post-TikTok live music, and the entire industry is terrified because it means every overproduced stadium spectacle is about to look obsolete. I'm picking the cultural impact angle because this moment isn't about Bieber. It's about the END of the Beyoncé-era mega-production template. For 20 years, the rule was more dancers, bigger stage, more pyro equals bigger artist. Bieber just proved you can headline the biggest festival in America with a $1,200 laptop and an internet connection, and still out-earn every legend who came before you. That's a market reset. And the critics mocking him? They're the old guy that culture is already done with. Remember that laptop prop? It's bigger than it looks. That wasn't a gimmick, it was a declaration. Every artist watching Coachella just learned they don't need million-dollar stage budgets anymore. The label machine is shaking right now because if Bieber can pull $10 million with MacBook, why are they bankrolling $20 million tour productions for mid-tier acts? The critics calling this lazy are literally industry puppets defending a business model that just got torched in public. Now connect it to his history, that $200 million catalog sale to Hypnosis back in 2023. The industry treated it like a funeral. They wrote him off. People magazine even reported he sold because he was financially on the ropes. The industry needed Bieber to be finished to justify the narrative that once you sell your catalog, you're done. He's playing checkers while they're playing chess. Wait, nah, he's playing chess. They're still playing checkers. And here's a real forbidden take that's gonna make people mad. The critics calling this performance lazy are the same demographic that mocked Bieber for a decade. The baby memes. The mugshot memes, the monkey incident memes, the Ramsey Hunt syndrome jokes. Yeah, people were cool about a guy with actual facial paralysis. The cancel culture mob. Those people spent 15 years trying to bury this man. Now he's back, richer, healthier, happily married, charting 16 Hot 100 songs at once, and they still can't let him win. That's not criticism, that's obsession. The haters are watching the culture move on without them, and it's driving them insane. The sick twist? The YouTube gimmick wasn't just performance art. It was him confronting his own haunted timeline in public. That baby video he pulled up is the same clip that got him bullied into a mental health crisis a decade ago. ABC News covered his facial paralysis return to stage, and now he's performing next to that same 16-year-old version of himself like, "You couldn't kill me. I survived you all." That's not lazy. That's the boldest statement any pop star has made in this decade. The haters represent the old internet, the era of mockery and cancel campaigns. Bieber represents the new internet, the era of healing in public and cashing checks while doing it. And that's the truth they won't tell you. So what happens next? Mark my words, what's coming for Justin Bieber over the next 18 months is gonna rewrite the pop playbook entirely. Let me give you all 3 scenarios. Scenario 1, the most likely outcome. Here's what's gonna happen. Bieber's gonna ride this Coachella wave into a full world tour announcement by end of 2026. When that drops, ticket prices are gonna hit Taylor Swift level numbers because scarcity just became his superpower. Wait till he drops a surprise swag deluxe follow-up, probably Q3, and watch the Hot 100 get botted again. The critics screaming lazy right now? They're gonna look desperate when they have to cover his sold-out arena run while pretending they didn't just call him washed. When this happens, every Bieber hater on music Twitter is gonna quietly delete their takes. The silence is gonna hurt them more than any response from Justin could. Scenario 2, the alternative path. Now if Bieber doesn't tour, even better for him. Here's why. He becomes the industry's most dangerous weapon, a scarce artist. If he only does one-off events, brand deals, and streaming drops, his per-appearance fee is gonna go from $10 million to $20 million by 2027. Mark my words, the industry is gonna chase him. Every festival, every brand, every streaming platform is gonna throw ridiculous numbers at him because he just proved he can generate $70 million plus in social engagement from ONE set. The haters are not ready for what's coming when Bieber realizes he's the most in-demand pop act on the planet. Bieber wins by performing. Bieber wins by not performing. There's no losing scenario. Scenario 3. The bigger picture, industry impact. Looking at the bigger picture, this is going to be the moment everyone remembers as when the mega production festival era died. Watch. Within 2 years, you're going to see 3 or 4 other A-listers try the minimalist laptop aesthetic. Some will pull it off. Most will flop because they don't have the backstory Bieber has. The ones who flop are going to cement Bieber's Coachella set as iconic and unrepeatable. 5 years from now, music history books are going to cite April 11th, 2026, the same way they cite Beyoncé's Homecoming, as a cultural reset. The critics mocking him today, they are watching legacy media die in real time, and there's nothing they can do about it. When streaming numbers for Swag explode again in the aftermath, every one of these lazy performance takes is gonna age like milk in the sun. Whatever happens, one thing's clear, the hate is already lost. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering the real story, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss when we expose what everyone else is too scared to say. Ring that bell for notifications.